Hey, thank you everybody for joining us for another episode of Net Builders 360. We have Naresh Vissa. I get that right?
Yes.
All right, we have him on the show today. Hey, this is a very, very special episode. You're about to learn how to create a six-figure income and go from being an employee to an entrepreneur, making that kind of money, the mindset that it took to get there, and the steps that was taken to get there. I'm going to leave the floor to him because you guys are about to get some great value here.
Well, the first thing I want to say is you, RJ, brought up an important topic, which is mindset. You said the mindset to get there. And I think that's one quality or characteristic that the average person refuses to even think about. They just don't even know about it. And I will just say that the key to success in anything, I'm not just talking business or money, or I'm talking anything, family, raising kids, personal goals, exercise. Excuse me. The key is mindset, because if you have the right, proper mindset, anything is possible. Anything is possible. But if you don't have that mindset, if you don't, yeah, you might get lucky in a few areas, but I'll tell you what, that luck, it's going to wear away, and whatever you achieved is going to disappear. And that's why you hear about so many, let's say, for example, lottery winners, because lottery winners, they have a very poor mindset. Their mindset is, let me just try to get lucky by winning the lottery. And then if I were to win the lottery, then my life is set. And so when that happens, they win the lottery. And what do? They have such a poor mindset where they just waste and spend and waste and spend, and it disappears quickly. And within one generation,
Yeah.
it disappears.
Yeah.
It's not like it disappears over 2 or 3 generations. It disappears within one generation. And that's
It's not even
because
gradual. It's just poof.
poof. That's what I mean by mindset. And so in the case of business and entrepreneurship, you have to have the proper mindset of every day putting in the work and improving yourself in all facets of life, improving your business, because there's going to be a compounding effect over the many days and years and decades that you spend. There's a compounding effect. And I take this philosophy, many popular business books and philosophical spiritual books talk about this mindset of maximizing your potential and the constant need to improve. And my religion, Hinduism, we have a term for this called dharma. It's the dharmic law, or the laws of dharma, the law of dharma. And that is just the simple, really two ideas or two concepts behind dharma. And that is, number one, knowledge attainment. So constantly seeking knowledge. And this is what I mean by improving yourself. And just because you got that degree does not mean that, all right, I'm done. I don't need to learn anymore. I know everything I need to know. Absolutely not. And the second part of dharma is putting in putting in your best effort, putting your all, or doing your all, and just not even worrying about the result and living a life like this. So the individual acts are called karma, but as a whole, when you live a life like this, it is called a dharmic way of living life. So that is constantly improving oneself, knowledge attainment, putting your best in, and not worrying about the results. The results are going to take care of themselves. So yeah, you might fail a few times, but guess what? You keep trying, you keep putting in your all, you keep improving yourself, and the results will come. You cannot get caught up in the results. There are many people who get results and they cut corners, they cheat, they steal, they lie, they scam, they do all sorts of things, but they got the results. That's not a dharmic way of living life, and that's going to end up catching up to you. Definitely. So these are the mindsets that are so important to success in all facets of life.
I love how intricate that you are with mindset. A lot of people just think, hey, mindset, go get it, that's it. But I love how you break that down, you break it down to different factors and facets, which I think is amazing, because it shows definitely the difference between when you spoke of the lottery. It showed the difference between accidental and intentional. success. You know what I mean? That accidental success, it's
It's rare. Look, it's not just winning the lottery. If you think about Mark Zuckerberg, I remember when I was in high school, one of my counselors in high school was like, oh, you need to be like this guy and start YouTube. And I learned throughout my teenage years and my 20s that that's like winning the lottery. Starting the next YouTube, starting Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg. That's why there's only one Bill Gates, only one Mark Zuckerberg. That's like winning the lottery. It's like a lot of kids are growing up. They grow up thinking, I'm going to make the NBA or the NFL. I'm going to become this professional sports player. I was one of those kids. And I would say by the time I got to maybe 6th grade, then I realized, you know what, this just ain't going to happen. But many people grow up throughout their childhood, teenage years thinking, I'm going to become a Hollywood celebrity. I'm going to become a basketball player. I'm going to become a baseball MLB player, starting whatever for the New York Yankees. And you have to be realistic. It's one thing to live a life of dharma, put your all in and see the results, but you have to be realistic about who you are, what you're good at, and how you stack up against the competition. This is for anything, whether you want to go to pharmacy school or med school or law school or work on Wall Street. You have to be realistic about who you are and what you're capable of and whether you're able to do the job.
very amazing. Very amazing. Very true. And this so growing up, did your parents have you said that you were gonna do this growing up, you know what I mean? Like, did your parents were your parents entrepreneurs? That's
No.
Did you
growing up, no. So my dad was an engineer, had a job. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. So I was not introduced to entrepreneurship until I was in high school. I took a class. It was the only class my high school offered in entrepreneurship. And that's when I said to myself, because I grew up wanting to be a doctor. I was like, oh yeah, I want to be a doctor because that's what everyone in my family wanted me to be. And I heard that doctors make a lot of money. So I was like, and going to the doctor's, I used to go to every kid goes to the doctor's office quite a bit. And you go in there, and as a kid, you're thinking, this is an amazing job. Like, they just come in, see my cough, prescribe a medication, and they get paid all this money to do stuff. So I was like, all right, let's do it. But then by the time I got to high school, I took a biology class and realized that I'm not very good at science. I'm not very good at biology. And guess what you need to be? Guess what you're not just good at, but guess what you need to like to be a doctor? Science, biology. And then I took the entrepreneurship class, and I was like, you know what, this goes more, business and marketing. It goes more in line with my interests and what I'm good at, what I'm interested in. And I met a few people, not friends or mentors or anything, but I met a few people who gave me some inspiring words of wisdom, which was, look, you got to do what you love doing, because when you're doing what you love, you're going to be good at it. And if you're doing something that you don't love, you're just going to be whining and complaining and hate your life. And it's going to affect your entire day, it's going to affect your relationships, your emotional health, your mental health. It's going to affect everything. So yeah, growing up, my parents fostered whatever my interests were. When I told them, I also had a big interest in media and journalism. So I told them, I said, this is what I'm interested in. This is what I want to do. And they were very supportive. They were like, all right, well, if you like something, if you want to do something, you're not just going to be sitting at home playing video games and think that it's going to come. You got to, if this is what you're interested in, find the summer camps, find the mentors, find the courses and the books and the documentaries, whatever, and start looking into it and start learning and improving yourself. So that's important, no matter what it is. Don't just think you can sit back, drink your beers, watch a game, and things are going to happen. It's not going to happen.
But that is actually the mindset that a lot of people do have. Is if I watch a couple of YouTube videos, now I'm an expert at this, and I'm gonna sit there and imagine it, and somehow it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. If I think about it enough, it's gonna happen. Well, how come you don't get up and do something? Oh, I don't have to do anything. All I gotta do is imagine it. It'll happen, man. It'll buff out. Don't worry about it.
So that's one of the, there actually is a philosophy called the law of attraction, which I'm a fan of. It's if you believe it will happen. But the difference is there's a process in between the belief and it happening. There's a lot of in between that needs to happen.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
you can't just think, okay, in your mind, okay, I'm just going to believe that I'm going to win the lottery and it's going to happen. No, you have to truly work towards that vision. I don't want to say goal, but towards that vision of making it happen. And yes, it will probably happen. But again, don't lose sight of the realism. Don't lose sight of being realistic.
I love the fact that you keep saying the realistic, because you hear people say, hey, reach for the stars or shoot for the moon, stuff like that. And I mean, I understand that those are words of inspiration, but let's be realistic. You know what I mean? Like,
let's keep it real.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real, and when I wanted to be an NBA basketball player, when I was 4'8" as a third grader, my parents were supportive, and they weren't like, oh, you got no shot, just quit right now. No, they got me a basketball hoop and some basketballs and said, all right, go practice. And I'd practice every day for 3 to 4 years. I'd practice and I'd practice and I'd practice. And the important thing is, look, my parents didn't have me waste all that time. It was not a waste. They didn't have me do that because they thought I was going to make the NBA, but it gave me something to do outside of the classroom. It was good for physical health. So great exercise. It gave me a hobby. It socially, I would say at least 70% of my friends also played basketball, so I could play with them and we'd go to each other's houses and have a good time playing. There are a lot of benefits that come from these things. And when it comes to actually playing an organized sport, now we're talking leadership, teamwork. I think a lot of my leadership and management styles have come from playing sports or just teamwork in general. And it's, failing and getting up after you get knocked down, getting hurt, getting injured, and working your way back, and winning and losing, and all those experiences make you a more experienced, a better person, and a better business person, a better entrepreneur as well.
Okay, I completely agree. I never thought about it from that aspect, but yes, organized sports. I love how you pulled experiences from life and implemented it into your business. I think that's great. That's something a lot of us don't do, because, like I said, you watch YouTube and you pick up what everybody else's experiences and stuff, but you never think to implement things that you learned and skills that you built in your life into your business, which I think that's great. Do you want to tell the audience a little bit about what you do? Sorry, I kind of went off in a tangent earlier and
I'm the founder and CEO of Krish Media and Marketing. Website is Krish, Krish, mediamarketing.com. It's a full service digital marketing agency. I started it in 2013. So we're almost 8.5 years strong. I was working full time at a job, started hustling on the side with my side hustle, just making some extra income. So by the time I left my full-time job, within a month, it's like I gave myself a 20% raise from my job to starting and running Krish Media and Marketing. So that's been great. And through Krish Media and Marketing, I've been able to network and do all sorts of great things. And I also started a real estate investment company. I also coach individuals on real estate investing. So it's a real estate business. And I believe in my experiences, I believe that real estate is an important part of wealth creation, storage of value, storage of wealth. And if you look at your average millionaire, the average millionaire has 6 to 8 different streams of income. 6 to 8. The average millionaire does not work a job at a company. In fact, companies don't want to pay you that much unless you're the CEO or the COO of a publicly traded company that's very well known.
Mhm.
The entire point of working at a company is to be paid less for your value. So provide a lot of value, be paid less than what value you're providing. And the company in return, well, on top of paying you, they'll give you benefits and say, all right, keep working for us forever, and we'll continue to pay you and give you these benefits, and don't leave us. So we're going to try to make you as happy as possible because you provide a lot more value than you provide a lot more value than what we're paying you.
And it's not even value, it's time. You're providing a lot more value than what we're paying you for. We just need your time.
Yeah, it's a lot of it is also we just need your time. And that's why I left the corporate world and never went back, because I said, you know what, I can do my own thing. And yeah, it's going to be bumpy. It's going to be a struggle. If it was easy, then everyone would be doing it, right? But it's difficult. And that's why most people are dependent on a job to earn their income. So I had that entrepreneurial bug going way back to when I was a kid. And finally, a light switch turned on in my mind. And I said, you know what, I can go out on my own and be fine and make a living and do well. And let's just see how it is. I was in my mid-20s. I said, I got nothing to lose. I'm not married. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have any kids. I don't own a house. I got no mortgage. So let's just give it a try and see how it works out. And like I said, 8.5 years later, still going strong.
Love it. My scariest moment in entrepreneurism was quitting my job. That was probably the scariest thing I ever did. Like when you quit, did you was it something that you contemplated on for a while, or you were just like, you know what, it's time? Like, what were the prerequisites that had to be met before you said, you know what, I'm gonna let go of work?
A couple of things. So even once you start your business, there are times when you're like, I'm gonna fire this client, I'm gonna quit this client, or we can't work with this company anymore. And it's one of those things where is there a plan B? Is there a plan C? And that's why I tell people, do not quit your job and say, I'm going to start this business. You have to do it on the side. You cannot, it's a terrible idea to quit your job and pursue something. You must do the side hustle and work your way up. And that will make it easier. If you quit your job or you get laid off or whatever, it's going to make it easier to make that transition. So in my case, I had a side hustle for 4.5 years before I left my company. 4.5 years of side hustle. So I highly recommend people take their side hustles seriously and do it today. Don't quit your job and then say, okay, now it's time to do the side hustle. You're going to find yourself job hunting within a year.
Definitely. Undercapitalization is a killer of companies. So essentially you used your day job to fund your side hustle, which now is your main hustle.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it. So that's what it's great to work at a company because they're paying you, you're doing stuff, you're learning. The most important thing is learning. You want to spend your 20s learning as much as possible, developing and building up skills. And if you can do that on another company's dime, all the more power to you. Go ahead and do it. So make use of that. And then when you go out on your own, I had cash flow from day one. It was a profitable business from day one. And that's what you want.
And there's not too many people that can say that. Day one, right out the gate, there's not too many people. So digital marketing is a very, very, very competitive field. Very competitive. You know what I mean? Especially, I think there's been a huge spike in it since COVID. People started, sitting at home and taking
exactly.
And but how did you do at that period? I mean, you already had the experience. You were doing way before the pandemic. So how did you?
23rd. So I worked at a company that was probably the largest financial marketing company in the world. So I was able to learn the ins and outs. The difference between somebody who just took a few crash courses during the pandemic and calls himself a digital marketer, the difference between them and me is I actually have the skills and can provide value immediately from day one. So That's the key when it comes to doing well in digital marketing. I've got the experience, I've got the contacts, I've got the connections. I just have, and I have the clientele. I've been working with them for years and years and years, and they've got networks, and they referred me and my company to other places. So it's worked out very well. And I've been able to build a reputation. Now, I started the real estate company because I knew that at some point in the future, I may not be a good digital marketer anymore. Some 25-year-old's going to come in and charge less than me and do a better job. And that's, it's just, I brought up being realistic, keeping it real, right? That's just how life works. And so I said, I need another stream of income that can help sustain me and my family and my children and future generations for centuries to come. And that's where the real estate comes in. So that's why I decided to pursue that on the side.
Going anywhere. Another side hustle. Your main hustle funding the side hustle. I love it. I love it. But real estate's not going anywhere. The one thing we can't make more of is land. So
yep, absolutely. And everyone needs a place to live.
Yes, definitely. So wow. Let's talk about 50 Shades of Marketing.
50 Shades of Marketing is my #1 best-selling book, all about online and digital marketing. Came out in 2015. It predicted that the next recession we'd have would force businesses to go online, and the home would be the place to work out of, the place to be. Didn't predict a pandemic or anything, but it was only a matter of time.
How accurate was that, though?
Yeah. So it's a primer on online and digital marketing. It's everything you need to know about online and digital.
Perfect. Where can we get that?
It's on Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, everywhere. In fact, I'll give your listeners a free copy of the book if they go to NareshVissa.com and contact me through there, get on my mailing list. I'll send them a free copy. Outstanding.
I'll definitely put that link in the description too. Definitely, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
that's so cool. So we're about out of time. Do you have anything that you would like to you've left a bunch of jewels, you dropped a bunch of jewels for the audience, but what should be their biggest takeaway from this?
The biggest takeaway is, look, today is the time to start. There's no better time than now. You gotta do it today. Don't put it off. Don't wait until you're older. Start that side hustle today. And the other nuggets of wisdom that I shared: don't leave your full-time job, etc. Just take all that with you, soak it in, soak in this podcast, and try to actually implement and improve yourself every day. Take these nuggets and principles seriously.
Outstanding. Thanks, Naresh. Thanks for joining us today. I really appreciate it. The value that you provided today, amazing. And thanks, viewers, for tuning in. I'm sure you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. Great human being, and we look forward to seeing what you're gonna do.
Thank you, RJ. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words. It's been a pleasure.
All right, sir. Thanks. See you guys soon.